everybody. Welcome back to the vlog. Aaron Hendon here with Christine and company over at Keller Williams. And today I interviewed Deborah Kohler from the Burton Inn. Oh man, first of all, great interview. And just a beautiful space here on Vashon. She just bought the inn last year. It's a cool story. Lucy's Table is the restaurant. She's a culinary, she's a culinary school graduate. There's the words. And food is fabulous. It's a great location here in the heart of Burton, middle of the island. Check out the interview, and then if you have any questions about island prices or Puget Sound prices, check out the website. Thanks for coming by. Bye. So Deborah, thanks so much for doing this. I'm just really interested, because I used to own a bakery, and I love people that take on food service from other walks of life. And tell me about how you went to buy the inn and how Lucy's Table came about. Just tell me the origin story for the whole place.
So I was in the same industry that you were for a long time, over 30 years.
Right.
I was a mortgage banker. Started when, my late teens, early 20s as a receptionist. And anyway, I had a beautiful, lovely, and wonderful career in that. In the San Francisco Bay Area. And then in 2006, some things started happening in the industry that I wasn't supportive of. And so I sold my home in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I moved down to Southern California and went to culinary school and got a degree in culinary arts.
Come on.
Yeah, at 46 years old.
Come on.
Yeah, so anyway, it was time to do something different, and it was an awful lot of fun. I started and operated my own personal chef and catering company for about 8 years down there, and so it kind of owned the space in between takeout and large-scale events. So events that people were doing in their homes, that kind of thing. That was my...
So like private catering?
Yes,
right.
Yeah, that was my niche. So anyway, it was an awful lot of fun. I have 3 daughters, Stephanie, Stacy, and Shelby, and my oldest one, Stephanie, lives up here with her husband and my 2 grandkids. And another thing that I'd always done during my home ownership career was every home that I bought needed love. And so, the last one I bought down in San Clemente, California was a historic beach house that was legally uninhabitable when I bought it.
Nice.
And so, just to little bit by little bit love it back into life was a wonderful experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. So a year ago in January, my daughter Stephanie was looking on Craigslist for a specific piece for the upstairs unit in her duplex. And so she put 2 words in the search engine on Craigslist: Kitchen Island. And the first result that popped up was Armin Yusufian's listing for his country inn and restaurant.
Oh my God,
on
that's
Vashon
so
Island.
funny.
Isn't it amazing?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
2 weeks later, I listed my house for sale. It was, do I want to make this move? Do I want to? But grandchildren will make you do strange things when you get old.
Okay, we'll find out. My first just started high school.
I'll guarantee.
My oldest is a freshman in high school. So
yeah, I
hopefully
guarantee.
I have a while.
Yeah. So anyway, there was some bumps in the road transactionally. My first escrow didn't close, and so the seller went and leased it out with an option to purchase to another party. I thought it was gone forever, so when my escrow closed, I did a 1031 exchange. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because my property in San Clemente was income producing, so I was doing a 1031 exchange. And so I bought myself a old little motor home, packed my dog up, and Frank and I hit the road and were looking for properties in the Pacific Northwest. So, needed to be within about 45 minutes of my daughter and my grandkids. Because I thought that the inn was gone.
Right, and the clock's ticking.
Yeah, clock's ticking.
You have 90 days to put that into something.
Absolutely. So I found something that I liked up in Poulsbo, but it wasn't bankable. It
wasn't lendable.
It wasn't lendable, right. And so I knew that the seller was a real estate investor who did private loans, and I called him up about the property in Poulsbo. And at that point in time, the relationship between the tenants that were doing the lease option had begun to go south.
Here.
Yeah. And he said, Deborah, I would love to be your lender. Let's talk about my inn. So.
Got it. So you're talking about the Realtors that was selling this?
No. It was for sale by owner.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, by the real estate investor.
Oh, got it. By the investor that was selling this.
Right.
You were talking to him about the Poulsbo property.
I wanted to.
You wanted to.
Yeah.
But he wanted
right.
to talk to you about this. How fortuitous. That
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And so 30 days later, we closed escrow it was just kind of meant to be.
That's great. So the restaurant was always going to happen.
My thought process is that I wanted to be able to lease the restaurant out. But Vashon Island had other ideas.
Right.
Vashon sent me talent instead of tenants.
Right.
So, but the first thing that needed to be done was renovation of the guest rooms. A lot of work in that. So those opened about October 13th, and the guest rooms
of last year.
And the guest rooms opened in December. And then in January, I started working on renovating the kitchen, which was kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been used. When was the last time the inn was used as an inn?
The tenants evidently during the springtime, just last year, had a few guests in, but they weren't licensed yet, or anyway.
But it wasn't really a commercial inn for years. I mean.
I don't know how long.
I mean,
it had been.
I've been on the island for 5 or 6 years, and it wasn't ever a thing. I mean, there was a realtor, the realtor that was managing my property where I was renting. It was where we could drop off checks.
I think at one point in time, this was the dining room was a Pilates studio.
Yes, that's right. For a little while.
Yeah.
That's right. The floor still looks like a Pilates studio.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Very good. I had forgotten about that. Right. Yes, it was all used for other stuff, but then. It's so nice to have it restored to its purpose. You know, when something finds its purpose, it's always fulfilling.
You know what I did?
No.
I bought myself a job. I did. I bought a job.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it'll
take some time, but projects like this, I mean, this is a long-term. This is a long-term project, so it'll keep me busy for quite some time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so obvious too. You know, it really is just so obvious. It's great to talk to you about it. How was the first year? I mean, the first couple of years in business are always frightening for people.
One of the things that is so rewarding about this place is my actual job description is I get to love on folks. That's my actual job description. If I'm ever having a bad day, which happens to all of us, all I need to do is go over and take a look at my guest book at the front desk.
That's great. What a
so,
great attitude.
Yeah. And even before the restaurant was open for business, we've had a couple of special events, like Allison did a grant writing class in here, and the kitchen wasn't done yet, so it was absolutely adorable. I mean, there was just
stuff all over. Yeah,
stuff all over the place, and I actually put the last tablecloth on like 15 minutes before her group arrived. One of those Restaurant Impossible things. So. And then there was a family who came in and self-catered an enormous baby shower here. And they were just in the night before last at the restaurant with little Ruby, who was just adorable. So to be a part of family celebrations and meet people from all over the world, it's really super rewarding. It's great.
It's great to have another spot, just as an islander. It's great to have another spot on this side. Further south from town, because there's really, there's town and that's it. So it's really nice to have another hub. And so you rent the dining room out for various occasions as well as
we absolutely adore to do private events. It's easier. We did a couple during the summer out on the deck.
Yeah, right.
We did, and all of the private events that we do, all the catering that we do, every menu is customized. So we did a rehearsal dinner out on the deck in August, and we did a Slider and craft beer bar, which was an awful lot of fun. Yep.
Great.
So
great. Any events coming up? Anything you want people to know about? Anything you wanted? Anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to let people know about either the inn or the restaurant or anything about it.
One of the things that's really marvelous about the inn is the fact that we do a room service continental breakfast daily. So anytime between 7 and 10 a.m. we'll bring up a room service tray of fruit, juice, and house-made pastries for our guests. And it's the feedback that we've gotten about the time that people spend here. We've had people that are islanders that just book a room here for a little staycation, just to feel like they've been kind of gotten away and been taken care of.
I love that.
Yeah. We don't really have any events coming up this moment. By the time this airs, we will have had our 1-year anniversary party, which will be really a lot of fun.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Cliff from Vashon Island Brewing is going to be bringing over some of his new craft beers for that event. We've got his Oktoberfest now on tap here, so
that's great.
I think just the fact that people know that there is lodging here on the island that's reasonable in cost, and an innkeeper that really delights in taking care of her guests.
It's great. All right, fabulous. Deborah, I just really appreciate the time. I know you're busy. I know running a business is not, you bought yourself a job. It's a full-time
job.
It's, I always joke I get to work whatever 70 hours a week I want, and I bet that's a light week for you. So I really just do appreciate your time, and thanks.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Great chatting with you.
Yeah, great chatting with you.